Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the April 2026 Coeur Regional Realtors Market Report. But hey, we're not just going to sit here and stare at raw numbers, right? We're going to translate all this dense data into a personalized, totally actionable strategy for selling your home. So, if you own a place in CDA, Spokane, or any of the surrounding areas, and you've kind of been sitting on the fence about putting that for sale sign in the front yard, well, you are absolutely in the right place. My goal here is to navigate these numbers with you so you can make the most informed and honestly the most profitable decision for your property.
Okay, let's just go ahead and address the elephant in the room. It's the big question that's probably keeping you up at night. Is April 2026 actually the right time to sell your previously owned home? Look, I know you've seen the national headlines. The news cycle right now is just heavily dominated by stories of slowing real estate, climbing interest rates, and, overall affordability challenges. As a homeowner, it's completely natural to wonder if you somehow missed that golden window to list. It's a perfectly valid concern. But we really need to look past those scary national headlines for a second.
Just look at the stark contrast between the national news and what's happening right in your actual local neighborhood. While national data from the National Association of Realtors shows existing home sales dropping by 3.6%, our local reality here in the Coeur and Spokane region is telling a completely different, highly encouraging story. Local buyer demand for previously owned homes is actively surging. We are literally bucking the national trend, and honestly, that is a massive advantage for you.
So, let's get into Pillar 1, strong local buyer demand, where buyers are active and closing deals.
To really wrap our heads around this demand, we need to look at pending sales. This is what happens when buyers aren't just sitting on the sidelines, scrolling online and saving listings to their favorites. No, they're actually out there physically touring homes, writing aggressive offers, and crucially getting those offers accepted. In the real estate world, this is basically the ultimate leading indicator of market health. And you're not going to believe what that indicator is doing right now. We're seeing a 26.4% year-over-year jump in pending sales for previously owned homes this April. A jump of over 26% compared to the exact same time last year. That is incredibly robust. It absolutely proves there's a huge level of local buyer activity happening right now, right in your own backyard. And this really brilliantly illustrates exactly where those pending sales end up. Just look at this comparison of closed sales. We are up to 319 closed sales this April compared to 296 in April of last year. This proves those eager buyers are actually pulling the trigger. They're securing their financing, they're signing on the dotted line, and that surging demand is translating directly into completed transactions. So what does this mean for you as a seller? It means the liquidity in our local market right now is exceptionally strong.
Moving right along to Pillar 2, your shrinking competition. Let's talk about why your house is a hot commodity.
We measure this competition using a metric called months supply of inventory. Basically, this just tells us how long it would take to sell literally every single home currently sitting on the market if no new homes were added, based on how fast people are buying right now. As a general rule of thumb, a normal balanced market sits at around 4 to 6 months of supply. Anything less than that, well, the power shifts directly into the hands of the seller.
So where do we actually stand locally? For previously owned homes, the supply dropped 14% year over year, landing at just 3.7 months. This is a genuinely crucial number for you to understand. Being that far under the 4 to 6 month balanced mark places you squarely in a highly advantageous seller's market. Your competition is actively shrinking as we speak.
In fact, total active inventory has dropped to just 1,231 homes in the entire region. Just think about what we just discussed. You've got this growing pool of hungry, active buyers, but there are only 1,231 active options for them to even choose from. Because of this stark imbalance, your house instantly becomes a hot commodity the very moment it hits the market.
Which brings us to Pillar 3, the bottom line. Let's talk about maximizing your sale price.
Because of that fantastic low supply and high demand combination we literally just mapped out, the median sales price for previously owned homes actually increased by 3.6%, bringing it up to $554,000. So despite whatever the national news is saying right now, locally, your asset is actively appreciating in value. And at the exact same time your asset is appreciating, the average days your home will sit on the market dropped by 2.5%, bringing it down to just 77 days. Just stop and think about that dynamic for a second. The value of your home is going up, and the time it takes to actually sell that home is getting shorter. For a seller, that is the absolute perfect sweet spot you want to be in.
Now, this tight inventory reveals a super powerful indicator of buyer psychology right now. Sellers are currently getting 97.8% of their asking price right out of the gate. Only 2.2% is being negotiated away. I mean, this tells a really compelling story. It means your property is holding strong value in the eyes of the consumer, and you aren't going to need to slash your price just to get a deal done. Buyers know the inventory is incredibly tight, so they are coming to the table with serious, highly competitive offers almost immediately.
And finally, let's look at the data-driven playbook, which is your actionable seller checklist.
Look, data is really only useful if it actually dictates our behavior, right? So here's your actionable 4-step checklist to completely capitalize on this unique market moment. Step 1, expect a steady, eager stream of active buyers the very second we go live. You've got to be ready for showings. Step 2, take full advantage of that shrinking inventory. Prep your home beautifully so it really shines against the extremely limited competition. Step 3, prepare for a slightly faster sale process. Averaging 77 days on the market means you need to have your next steps, like, your actual physical move, planned out well in advance. And Step 4, price your home realistically right near that 98% mark so we get it sold efficiently without leaving a single dime on the table. The numbers clearly prove that our local Coeur d'Alene and Spokane market is unequivocally outperforming the national slump. Buyers are eager, they're qualified, and they are absolutely ready to make a move right now. Inventory is low, prices are holding incredibly strong, and the data absolutely shows the buyers are out there aggressively waiting for inventory just like yours to hit the market.
Which really just leaves us with one final, provocative question for you to consider today. Is your home ready for them? I highly recommend taking a walk around your property today, looking at it through the eyes of an eager buyer, and really just letting the reality of this local data sink in. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I can't wait to see you next time.